Hi Aquarius, welcome to Channel Rocker Ritaville. I am your hostess L Rock, and we are doing your week ahead timeless energy reading for the sun, moon, and rising sign of Aquarius. I want to thank my new and returning subscribers. Hey, you guys, thanks for being here. And also, if you're just popping in to see what's up, welcome. Glad you stopped by. And also, thank you for your likes and your comments. That really helps the channel grow. So, with the weekly reading, what this is we're going to take a look at your overarching or most influential energy in the week ahead. If you're a cross watcher, I speak directly to Aquarius as though this is their energy. However, if it is your story, cross watcher, then I'm picking up your energy as well. So just be mindful of who's who. The reading does go out directly to Aquarius, and I only talk about other people if they show themselves in the reading. It's not a relationship read, okay? So with that said, let's get to it. Aquarius, what is your most influential energy for the week ahead? Wow, okay, we're going to stop there because that's a lot. They just came flying out, Aquarius. Lots to say. So when I was getting ready for your reading, your energy was really interesting. It was bouncing around, and for whoever this is for, the song "Oh What a Night," the one late December back in '63, that song came through, and something about English class, and um, I feel like you're a little bit feisty, so I'm interested to see what comes out, the energy in the cards. But your overarching energy is that you are in some aspect of a cycle and that you're deep in it. So ask yourself, what cycle are you in? Are you in a winter cycle where things are kind of cold and maybe feeling dead and dormant and there's no movement and it's a period of hibernation and quietness? Are you in a spring cycle where there's new things growing in your life? Springing up, things are green everywhere, abundance, sexuality in the springtime. The animal kingdom likes to go out and mate. Or are you maybe in a summer or fall where it's kind of just, where you're stabilized and you're good and you're grounded, or fall where things are beginning to fall away and be released? So, depending on who I'm talking to, each of you are going to be in a different aspect of your cycle, but you are deep in an influential cycle right now. So, let's find out what the cards have to say here. This is the mixed deck. It's two decks. The herbiary. Can you see this? Nope, you can't. The herbiary and then the bestiary. So it's earth medicine. They're plant and animal cards. So we're going to take a peek at that then. Oh, interesting. Aquarius, I think you had a video. Was it you that had a video about worthiness last week? And You Are Worthy, Tabby Cat came up. So very interesting. All right. I'm interested in why you're not feeling worthy, but let's just look at the cards. Let's see. So we have elderberry, which is cycles. We have the eastern oyster. Sorry, I've got some sage here. I always burn sage in between my readings. The eastern oyster, deal with the dirt, talks about filtering out what you don't need, right? So these oysters here have this sort of auric field of protection. And what it does is it actually functions and operates like a filtration system in your sink, right? And all of this dirt and debris that comes in through waves and currents and energy that's passing through the oyster's space, the oyster has the ability to filter the dirt out. Now, when there is dirt that stays in, the way that oyster deals with that, or the energy of oyster's medicine, is that it can transmute it and turn it into a pearl, right? It creates a lacquer or a solid foundation about it. And that grit and that grime, all of that. Um, I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but maybe I'll share the story here with you in a second. Hang on. All that grit and grime, you can filter through it. And the reason that I'm laughing is because I have a pool in my backyard, and I had a plant sitting on my pool deck because it needed some sunlight, and I had the hose out, and Aquarius, I was watering the other plants in my backyard, and I flipped the hose, and the hose flung the plant in the pool. So the pool had all plants were, I mean, like, it was a good size. Okay, so the planter is, the beer buckets that you get, like you're out on the beach and you order a bucket of beer and you get 5 beers in it. It was one of those, and I had a plant in it, and all over in the pool. And I spent 2 hours, like, I dug out my old scuba gear, my weights to keep me down, vacuuming and digging dirt out of the pool. And it was terrible, Aquarius. But I say all of that to say this is you can persevere. And I'm telling you that it wasn't awesome. But you are protected, okay? And I'm sorry. This is a terrible story to share in the middle of your reading, but it's kind of relevant. Um, Aquarius, you're protected through this, right? That's what this lacquer is that you have to take that grime and that grit. Like, I get a real sense that you're irritated, and I felt your irritation a little bit even when I was just doing the pre-shuffle. So this ball here is this here. And you're going to be fine. You're fully protected in all of this because you know how to deal with the dirt. Uh, what what I'm curious about is, are you not dealing with the dirt because you don't feel worthy about something? We're going to dig into this a little bit deeper with the tarot card. We've got Tabby Cat here. And Tabby Cat is really all about all of the versions of yourself, and, finding your worthiness and that aspect within yourself, because there's nothing outside yourself that proves your worthiness, Aquarius. That all comes from within. And whatever those things are, maybe that's the dirt that you're dealing with, are those feelings of unworthiness. Where did they originate from, Aquarius? Why are you having feelings of unworthiness that are really in such a place that, it's really coming out 2 weeks in a row that the cycle is here? And with that, I think that's the dirt that you're dealing with. What have people said to you, Aquarius, that has left you feeling unworthy, right? Has there been a past lover or a past partner that has said things to you that were unkind and you believed it? Other people's words are really, like, if we were just to chalk it up, let's just call them a sales pitch, that sometimes we buy it and sometimes we don't. And the problem with this is when we agree to what people are saying about us, we become that. And somewhere there was your worthiness, Aquarius, was brought into question, where you felt like you weren't enough. You were in not enoughness. You weren't a good enough boyfriend or girlfriend. You were, maybe you didn't make enough, and maybe you thought that that you didn't deserve to make more money. Maybe there was some abundant stuff in this, but this is your dirt, is worthiness. And that visitation to go back and check that is going to help you through that cycle, and you're going to be protected while you do it. Now, the reason that I know that you're being asked to go back is the rewild, or the medicine of plantain. has you go back to those places on your map that were super influential. And these might have been places that you just passed through, and there might have been places where you stopped and stayed a while, right? So a relationship that you stayed in for a long period of time that was influential. Maybe your childhood was, over here, and every place that you go, it's on the map of your life, Aquarius. And plantain is inviting you to go back and look at the critical places on your map where you've had bouts with your worthiness, where you didn't feel like you were enough. You didn't apply for that job because maybe you didn't feel like you could do it, or you weren't qualified. Whatever it is, you are worthy. And there is also tremendous evidence, Aquarius, throughout your entire personal history from other people telling you complimentary things about yourself. Your invitation in the week ahead is when you visit and you go to Rewild and you spend that time on your map with plantain. You go back and you look at the areas where people said great things about you, the people who believed in you, that time when you felt an extra sense of motivation and an uplift. And because somebody else believed in you more, you believed in you more, Aquarius. Find that evidence, because there's always going to be the evidence that the sense of unworthiness, because that's the kind of culture that we live in. We're not allowed to say nice things about ourselves because it's thought of as being egoic, when in fact saying nice things about ourselves is part of what gives us the courage and the belief to be able to move forward and do new things, and to travel steady on. We have the common tortoise at the bottom of the deck here, and you have traveled a long journey. There's a real sense of time around this tortoise, because tortoises live to be, a very old age, and perhaps you've traveled a lot. Tortoise keeps its house with it, and it journeys and it travels, and it does it as at its leisure and as it pleases. So you have moved, you've kept a really steady course through this. And then finally, we have the whooper swans here. And of course, swans are, mate for life. And the energy behind this is to love fiercely, Aquarius. And so, with loving fiercely, perhaps you are in a partnership. And if you're not, the love fiercely are the aspects of yourself. And I think that's the energy that I'm getting from this, that to give yourself that love and commitment, that it's not necessarily something outside of yourself, Aquarius, to be acquired, but loving yourself fiercely into your worthiness. That's like literally doing things like mirror work. Can you go stand in front of a mirror and look yourself in the eye and love yourself as fiercely as you've loved the person that you ever loved the most? That is the question of worthiness right there, Aquarius. Can you love yourself that much? Do you love yourself that much? Can you love yourself that fiercely? That's what Whooping Swan is asking you in the week ahead. All right. Let's see what we have for from Patch. Patch Tarot is up next, and we will clarify the cards. What else do you want Aquarius to know in the week ahead, please? What else do you want Aquarius to know in the week ahead? All right, what else do you want Aquarius to know in the week ahead? Okay, so let's grab what's coming out. Yeah, seven of Cups. There's illusion. You've probably drank from a lot of cups in your life, Aquarius. Don't we all? We've all sampled these cups, and there's something in one of these cups that has to do with your unworthiness. It was a cup that was chosen, and it created an illusion in your life, and that illusion is not serving your highest good. Sorry, I'm picking up cards off the floor here. One moment, please. Okay, hopefully that's it. Everything came out upright, so that's great. You've got the Three of Discs, so this is working together in collaboration with somebody. We have the King of Swords. That's a really analytical nature. That's somebody who is, swift and clear with their words. And then we have the Queen of Cups, reflecting back on things in your life. This Queen of Cups is you. I'm not sure who this King of Swords is. Perhaps this is you, or perhaps this is a relationship or a friendship which can approach things from an analytical nature rather than an emotional nature. I think that that's what you need right now. I think you need logic, because you are being called into this reflection. And while the emotions are there with the cups, right? With those reflective, all those different versions in those bubbles, all those different versions of yourself to be able to ascend to this nurturing queen that you are today. And you are the queen, and there's something that's knocking your confidence, Aquarius, because you are the queen. So remember we've got the medicine of plantain or rewild. That's what this Queen of Cups is doing. It's bringing you back to remind you of all those versions of yourself. So if the map analogy or the map story doesn't work for you, think of who you are when you were a child, and what did you love, and what did it mean to you, and then when did things start to change? When did you stop believing in yourself about certain things, and what influenced that? I feel compelled to tell a story. A friend of mine was talking about how her daughter, when she was young, used to love cats. And her mom is kind of a rescue animal person, and she'd rescued a cat and had taken it home. And her daughter was 8 at the time. And the cat ended up having ringworm. And her daughter had ringworm, unfortunately, on her face. So when you think about kind of being an 8-year-old little girl and going to school with ringworm on your face, children aren't very kind, are they? And the impact actually of that is that even today, she doesn't like cats. And yet, all the way up until the time that she had ringworm on her face, she loved them. And perhaps it was the influence of maybe a shaming experience of having something like ringworm on your face, right? So whatever the ringworm on your face is that's influenced, I'm sorry, I don't mean to make jokes, but we can be light about, heavy energies here sometimes, because unworthiness is a serious thing to talk about. And there's something that impacted you, Aquarius, that's hurt you, and it's coming through week over week. What else can we get? And they're illusions, and the Seven of Cups is telling you that it's an illusion. It's not true. And I guess the question is, Aquarius, is what does it take to convince you that it's not true? Why, how do you begin to embody the truth of your worthiness, Aquarius? Anything else want to come out for Aquarius, for tarot? Oh, yeah, one more. A couple more. Anything else for Aquarius the week ahead, please? All right. So we have the King of Discs, determination. The King of Discs really talks about, steady, hard work. Yeah. 9 of Cups. You've got this. You know you're worthy. That is absolutely, completely happy. That is all of your cups overflowing. You've created this for yourself, Aquarius. You are abundant. You are worthy. You are loved. And you are happiness. Look at that. Look at that smile. That's you, Aquarius. That's amazing. All right. Oh, interesting. Monarch butterfly ended up on the floor. I don't know if it was an interloper in the deck. Digest your past. And this is your complete transformation, Aquarius, and you are being called to it. Monarch butterfly goes through many versions to become a monarch. It first starts as, its egg, and then it becomes this caterpillar, and then it becomes it comes. So what's really coming through about this is in the book it talks about butterfly comes with a blueprint, and this blueprint is like a set of plans in its DNA that it knows what it's supposed to do when it's born. And what it does is it eats and it consumes, right? So that it has the energy to go into its cocoon and go through all of its phases in its cocoon, where it literally becomes like caterpillar soup, and it reorganizes itself. It reorganizes all of its cellular structure from this genetic blueprint that it's born with, and it becomes the butterfly. And you are digesting whatever it is from your past that caused that level of unworthiness. Look at the colors between the caterpillars here and tabby cat and our big cat here, our lioness, I think. So that's really interesting. The other cards that came out, Eight of Wands, shift. So Eight of Wands in many other decks is it's about communication. In this deck, it focuses on shift. It's almost like a little miniature wheel of fortune. So I'm hoping this reading, I feel the energy shifting. I felt it shift a couple of times in the reading. So I'm not surprised this Eight of Wands is coming out, because you're aware that your opinion of yourself could be upgraded, and that's what you're being called to do. And you're being called at this. So this Four of Cups, whatever it is, I think this was in your reading last week too, Aquarius. Interesting. And I've done many readings since your reading last week. You're in a state of withdrawal, and that's appropriate for where you're at right now, Aquarius. You might be working with somebody in terms of, I almost feel like this is more like a counselor or a coach or something like that. You've got a plan in motion, and you're trying to execute on that plan. And I think that there's a hit in your confidence that's keeping you from moving forward on that plan, whatever that is. So that shift is coming. And then finally, we have the Six of Discs in reverse. And this is an indicator of, not giving, or selfishness is what the indicator is on this card. So withhold. And maybe perhaps one of the things that has caused your confidence, I don't want to say that your confidence is suffering, but there has been somebody in your past that has been of a selfish nature. And because of that selfishness, that probably, I feel like you gave a lot, right? That you were probably in the Six of Cups with generosity. And this other person, of course, if you are, generously giving and somebody is generously receiving, that can create an imbalance. and a sense of unworthiness, right? That you have to give things to be loved or to be cherished, that you have to overgive. And that's not true. There can be reciprocity for you, Aquarius. There can be return. And this week ahead, you are being guided to spend time alone, in thought, in contemplation, really loving yourself fiercely. Oh, look, you got the dance card. Sad you got that card too, I think. Step into the light, share your gifts and talents with the world. So these are the self-care cards, and what we're looking at is one of the things that you can do in the week ahead to increase your vibrational frequency, to care for yourself, to show yourself things that you know that you are worthy. And if this is something that you want to give yourself in the week ahead, to just turn on a song and let loose, you are absolutely guided to do that in the week ahead. As you love yourself fiercely with the Whooper Swan, this might be a relationship. I do feel like there's outside influences here, and your outside influences are intended to be helpful and supportive during a time where you're kind of meant to go within and reflect back on your past. You've got a real sense of determination about what it is that you want for yourself, and yet there's something blocking you from it. And I think it's from potentially being in an overly giving situation in the past with somebody who was selfish. Yeah, retreat. In the week ahead, Aquarius, you're being called to retreat. Go back into that womb of yourself there, and go within. This circle really takes her within, and she's listening to those parts of herself. See how her head is resting against that? She's listening to those parts within herself. The ocean is calm. The beach is calm. All of this stuff that's happened under the water, that's already happened. Okay? Oh, come on. There we go. So all of that, see all that was going on? Now you're in this calm state. It's like glass, okay? So Aquarius, just give yourself permission to not have to worry about other people's wants, interests, or needs in the week ahead. Your wants, interests, and needs are the priority. You are to love yourself fiercely, to retreat, to reflect on yourself, and to digest your past and bring the full essence of who you are forward in the week ahead. Yes, achievement and truth. So your other self-care, tell the truth. Integrity is the key to living an authentic life. So perhaps that's the truth to yourself. Perhaps that's the truth to somebody else. You're being called into your truth. And then achievement. See this, how the butterfly's out now? So you achieve what you've set out to do. You digest your past, right? You've gone from the states, from these various forms of the cocoon, and you've hatched and you've set yourself free. You've achieved it, Aquarius. Chase your dreams. You may be surprised where they lead you. To chase these dreams, know that you're worthy of having them. You are a beautiful soul, Aquarius. And I want you to remember that your happiness is waiting for you because you already have it. Go walk into the room and look at everything that you're grateful for. And remember, I am worthy, Aquarius. I am worthy. Have a beautiful week ahead.